Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for another episode of Jackie's Literary Videos. What do you guys think of that? I probably try too hard sometimes with those kind of things. But I'm trying to come up with something a little different because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I want to come up with a new introduction in my videos. But I probably just try too hard to be clever. But it is Top 5 Wednesday time, and if you're new to Top 5 Wednesday, it is a Goodreads group created by Ginger Reads Laney and Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, where you are given a topic each month, each week in the month, you are given a topic to do every Wednesday, and of course it's book related. You pick your top 5 of whatever topic they give you. And this month, Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, who is now the host of Top 5 Wednesday, decided to do a rewind month where she would allow us to go back through the archives of the group and pick topics we wanted to do. So, this week's topic I chose to do is my side characters that deserve their own story. Now, these are more like characters that I'm interested in. That I would love to know, so I don't know if they really deserve their own story or not. I mean, I don't know if everybody would agree with me, but I'm kind of interested in. I just remembered. I was trying to think of just now. I was actually trying to think of number 5, and I realized there was I had picked a character from the book I just finished, but you know what? I decided I had already thought about a character that I would pick as number 5. So I'll just go with that one because that one is more of one I really am interested in. I would be really interested in getting their backstory. But all these characters are basically characters that I think I would love to know their background and their story, and maybe learn about them afterwards as well, after the original story that they came from. Okay, so as always, these are not in order. And the first one is one where there was one in this group of characters, there was one that I remember being really interested in, and he actually reminded me of a character from Song of Ice and Fire series a little bit. But now I don't remember which one it was. And I'm talking about, like, one of the High Lords from the ACOTAR series, but I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was maybe the guy that ran the summer, that was the High Lord of the Summer Court. Or it might have been the one. I don't remember. It has been a while since I read the books, and I'm due for a reread because I can't buy any. My mom has requested that I wait at least until July before I buy any more books. Although who knows, I might get. My sister's coming this weekend, and she's of course going to get me gifts for has gotten me something for my birthday. And, I mean, she did say she wanted to get something off of them that wasn't on my list. But she might get something from on my list. Maybe both. I don't know. So, part of me is hoping that maybe she'll get me one of the books on my list. Or if there's 2 in particular that I didn't get for my parents that I would love to get. But if not, I'll just wait until July. And maybe when Terry and I go to. Because I think that's why my mom said wait until July at least, because she knows that when my friend Terry gets here, we'll probably want to go to Books A Million. But anyway, so I don't know which one, I can't remember. Like I said, I think it was the one from the Summer Court that I liked, and I think he was also the one that kind of reminded me of some of the guys from the Martell family in the Song of Ice and Fire series. And I was going to say Dorian, but no, Dorian is the one played by Alexander Sigdig, I think. I can't pronounce his last name. And I was only thinking about him because he's on Gotham now. And the finale was last night. And thank God we're having a season 5. I mean, it's only 13 episodes, but at least we're getting one. So I'm content with that. Okay, anyway, so I don't know which one. I would like to know about all the High Lords. And I also didn't want to say any of the other characters that, like the core group of characters, any of them, because even if they are secondary characters, or side characters, or whatever you want to call them. She is writing more books anyway, so I don't know who's going to be in the books. But after Court of Frost and Starlight, she's writing books from different characters' perspectives. Okay, and the next, number 2, and yes, I read Twilight and I liked it. Get over it. Okay, so but as I've gotten older, I see the flaws in Twilight. I see that it's really flawed and not the greatest story in the world. And no, I'm not going to say that everything is a better love story than Twilight, because I still like Twilight, and I thought some of the aspects of the love story were really, really actually good and interesting. Yes, I said it was actually good. But my favorite characters as I got older became Alice and Jasper. And considering where Jasper is originally from, I've always wanted to know more about him and just I've always been very interested in his character, and he's my favorite out of the Cullen brothers. You know, I think he's definitely, how do people do this? Those people that wear glasses, I guess at that point, if they worn them for their whole life, they're used to it, but I'm not used to it. I only wore glasses when I was like 2 years old, so it's been a long time, but I don't know how. I mean, my parents say that I just have to get it tightened, adjusted a little bit. I don't know when that will happen. But yes, I want to know more about Jasper and his backstory. I think that would be really interesting, and just get to know Alice and Jasper as a couple beyond the Twilight books. And I also am kind of interested in the pack itself, the pack where Jacob comes from. I'm kind of interested in those guys as well. Especially like the leader, the one who took over the pack when Jacob decided he didn't want to run things, he didn't want to be an alpha. And his relationship with Leah and the other girl, the one, I think Leah was the one who was his ex-girlfriend, and then the other one, I can't remember the other one's name, unless the one he imprinted on was Leah, I can't remember. But whoever's the one that he ends up mating with, and then he accidentally mauls her, I'm kind of interested in them and their little story. Okay, so number 3, I said, is Samwell Tarly from A Song of Ice and Fire series. I am definitely interested, especially with the development he gets throughout the series, and I'm more referring to the show because I'm kind of behind in the books, but I'm very much ahead in the movies. I mean, not the movies, in the show. But I would definitely be interested in his character and his story, and seeing how he became to be like a self-proclaimed coward, and that's his word, not mine, because I think Sam is adorable, and I think he's a lot braver than he gives himself credit for. And also see his life afterwards, see his life with Gilly, and see, beyond the whole story, the storyline in the books. But I don't know if George R. R. Martin would ever do that. But yes, he's a character I think deserves his own story, just like the other characters I mentioned. And then number 4, I said is Althea Prosperspine from the Hazelwood. I would really be interested in her story and her time when she was in the forest. I can't remember what exactly, because I know her estate is called the Hazelwood, but the forest that I would be interested in how she ended up there, and her story, and how she came by the stories, and how she was able to publish them beyond and how she get out of the woods, and I would love to know her story. And then the last person, originally I said Eben from Kiss of Deception. So I like that kid. I feel bad for him, and I want to know how he became such a cold-hearted person, because he's just like the rest of them. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. But then I decided I did think of a 5th person, and that is Macon from the Castor Chronicles. Lena's uncle. I think that would be really interesting to hear stories about him in his younger years, especially because he was the character that chose the light over the dark, and he's a incubus, and he also had a relationship with Ethan's mom, which means, and it's a good, I feel bad for them, but at the same time, it makes you know, if you think about it, though, that means that Leah and Ethan would be cousins. Or Lena, not Leah. Lena and Ethan would be cousins, so they could never be together, because that's still incest. Even if you're cousins, because I know back in the medieval times, even cousins got together, were arranged to marry, to keep it all in the family. But, yeah, I would be interested, you know, I'm glad, I mean, it's, for Lena and Ethan's sake, I'm glad Macon Ravenwood and Ethan's mom never got together. And I would feel bad for Ethan's dad. And Ethan might not exist. He would be a completely different person. You know, if Macon and I can never remember what Ethan's mom's name is, if they had never got together. Unfortunately, I can't look back at the book because I donated my copies of the book. But yeah, so I can't remember her name, but I would love to know that story. I think that is a very interesting story. You know, and just how he, you know, his relationship with Ethan's mom, and how he chose to be, and what led him to being, like, choosing the light over the dark, and his relationship with Lena's mom will be also interesting to see, and seeing how they grew up together, because she obviously went dark, Lena's mom. So I'm kind of would be interested in seeing how that relationship developed. Sorry, I got sidetracked, because it's funny, I am no longer a fan of Once. I did not like the direction the writing went, and I just feel like those writers are, like, totally messed up and made some bad choices, but that's just my opinion. And of course, because I watched season 1, and I used to watch all these clips and all this stuff and little sneak peeks and all these videos with, you know, in those multi-fandom videos. And sometimes Once Upon a Time couples would be used, and so, like, it had the series finale last night, and I only know that because first I you know, unfortunately am in groups still, because I kind of still, it's hard to completely let it go, and I'm still in groups, so I was told when the series finale would be, and on my screen here is the final featurette, like a behind the scenes kind of thing, like talking about the final episode, and it's like right, and I'm like staring at it. It's like right at the corner of my eyes, like right there, and so it's like I keep getting sidetracked, and I really shouldn't be, because why would I care, you know? And I don't. It's just sometimes you kind of get nostalgic, and like, especially if you had like a really bad experience with the show, and it kind of lets you down, as I feel like Once Upon a Time did. And I know people will say, well, a show doesn't owe you, but like I said, this is my opinion. And I'm not saying that, like, but I feel like they stopped respecting their fans, or they only respected certain fans that liked who they liked. But again, you know, if anyone that is subscribed to me, is a fan of the show, look, I don't want to argue with you, and I don't want to, you know, especially since you're essentially a stranger to me, in the literal sense, I mean, and I don't want to, you know, I'm just stating my opinion, so, and like I said, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, like, it's right there on the screen, like a video of it, because I have YouTube up behind the screen where my camera is. So that's the only reason I mention it, and because I know I'm wondering, my eyes are wandering, I'm looking in that direction. Okay, well, anyway, that is my top 5 side characters that I think deserve their own story. Whether it's a backstory or a story beyond the original series or novels or whatever. So what are your top 5? I mean, you don't even have to say just 5, you can say as many as you want. What are your top characters that you feel like side characters that you feel like they deserve their own story? Or you at least want to know their backstory. So, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you are passing through and haven't subscribed to my channel and liked the video. And to all the people who are subscribed to me, much love to all you guys, and enjoy your reading. Alright, bye.